Hey guys, welcome back to the Jen Files. I am Jen here, and today we're going to talk about 6 different things that have impacted my life, I think for the better, within the past 3 to 5 years. I could probably do separate videos on each thing, but right now this is pretty much just glossing over those areas that I think have made the biggest impact more recently. Definitely consider liking and subscribing as you watch this video. So let's just get right into it. Very first thing that has impacted me, I'm going to be super cliche right here. It's going to be minimalism. Basically, minimalism is living with less, scaling back in certain areas or whatever. But the basic idea is that you're not living with as much crap, okay? You're cutting out the things that don't matter as much. And I don't know if I even really need to explain, but I'm gonna try to explain anyway. I would say it unofficially entered my life right around when I moved out of my house. And you know, right after I got married, and you can't bring all that stuff with you that was in your old bedroom. Like, I'm not gonna move into my new apartment with like all my old toys and stuff. So without realizing it, that's kind of where it started. But then as more life things happened, you know, buying a house, having kids, I don't know if it's just my style changing or whatnot, but things that worked at one point were no longer working for me. I don't think there was like one moment when I woke up and was like, I'm gonna be a minimalist today. No, that's not what happened. But I do remember certain things, like looking at my closet one spring day and just noticing how many clothes were in there. There was a hack on Pinterest. I remember it was like a hanger, and then you can put like the tab of like a Coke can. You could put that on there and hang another hanger on there so you could fit more clothes in your closet, okay? So that's what I did. At one point, I had my whole closet filled with all these double-tiered hangers with the little tabs so more shirts could fit in there. And then one day I'm looking at my closet and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, now, I by no means am like an addictive shopper or anything, but shopping was definitely more a part of my life at one point than it is now. And I've accumulated some things at this point. I've accumulated lots of shirts, lots of scarves, lots of cardigans, and it was all kind of staring back at me. And I didn't even know if I liked half of it anymore. I think there were like all these different colors because I had to have things in every color, da 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 da. And it just wasn't working for me. And I knew that my style was changing, my tastes were changing. So I was like, enough's enough. We're gonna get rid of half of this crap at least. I mean, I don't know if it was half at that point, but I got rid of a lot of it, and I'll never forget. I piled it all in my car, brought it to wherever I donated it to. It was pretty drastic. Before that, I was decluttering lots of my makeup and all, and I just found that having less stuff is as great as people say it is. It really is. It's less chaos to look at every day, less decision making. And as a result, you just don't want to bring more stuff into your life anymore after that. Like, once I got rid of that stuff, I didn't want to keep doing that over and over again. I didn't want to keep bringing more chaos into my life. Not that like having a lot of stuff is bad. I know everybody has their whole like what they consider is a lot for them or too much or whatever. All that aside, I just think that it just made things so much simpler in terms of cleaning things, maintaining things, seeing what I liked more than things that I didn't like, that I was always trying to move out of the way. Like, it's a game changer. So if you're somebody who is looking to simplify, I highly recommend it. It will change your life. I'm not a super minimalist. I certainly have a lot of makeup. I certainly do have not a huge wardrobe anymore, but I have like, you know, a simpler wardrobe. Depending on what it is, having less for me of the crap you don't need, want to look at every day, that will make a huge difference in your life. It'll keep you feeling less anxious. It'll just make you feel like you can handle your life a little bit better, and you're just not dealing with your stuff all the time. You know what I mean? So definitely something to consider if you're looking to de-stress a little bit and trying to make your life a little bit more easier to handle. So definitely look into that. Second thing that has changed my life, I mentioned this in another video, is the law of attraction. If you're not sure what law of attraction is, this says the law of attraction is the belief that positive thoughts are magnets for positive life experiences and negative thoughts are magnets for negative life experiences. Seems like it makes sense, you know, like your thoughts become your reality. And I think that's basically what it is. What you believe is true. Maybe law of attraction is just like a pretty packaging for that philosophy, whatever. But hey guys, so this is me editing the video, and for some reason I failed to mention like the biggest parts of law of attraction that I really like and that mean the most to me. Don't know how that happened. When it comes to the things you want out of life, the whole idea is that you feel good while you're trying to get what you want, because otherwise it'll just kind of blow up in your face. Everything in this culture is like bust your ass, give 2,000%. Not that you shouldn't take action towards your goals, but I think the approach to it that message can get really twisted sometimes. When you want something, the best thing you can do is to stop obsessing over it and to let go, and use inspired action to get the things that you want, because it'll go a lot easier and flow a lot better. If things don't feel good, it's not that you want to sweep those feelings under the rug or deny yourself of feeling those feelings. And things that I've looked up said that the law of attraction sucks because it means that you're denying your feelings, which is completely not true. It's just saying if you're not feeling well, that's a sign that something's not right, or that something's not going the way it's supposed to go. And that kind of is a way for you to navigate towards something that will make you feel better. That's all. Even if that means that you have to sit and process your feelings and experience grief or be angry or punch a pillow, like that's fine. Like that's what you're supposed to do. The law of attraction is about manifesting what you want. So the way to do that is by getting out of that negative headspace, whatever that takes, and doing it in a slow way where you do eventually feel better and can manifest those things. I think that's the number one takeaway for me with law of attraction, is that, heck, I want to feel good in life. I don't want to feel like I'm suffering to get what I want. Because think about it, people who do get what they want, yeah, they might be working hard, but they might not necessarily be suffering because of it, right? They're doing it because it's coming from a place of joy. It's coming from a place where they're working towards it because they want to be and they feel good doing it. If you're doing something out of a place of desperation, it's not going to work out for you. So those were the biggest points that I wanted to kind of throw in there that I somehow missed the first time around, but hopefully that kind of makes sense. If you want more information on this, check out the channel Raise Your Vibration Today with Andrea Schulman. I'll link that down below. She explains things in a lot more detail than I do, and in a way that makes more sense probably than what I'm trying to do in like 3 minutes here. But definitely check it out if it's something you might be interested in, especially if there are things you want out of life that somehow aren't working out for you. Law of attraction has really changed how I view things and how I approach things, and has definitely made me a calmer person as a result. I don't obsess over stuff. Sure, there are things that I really, really want out of life, but it's not in like a desperate way anymore. I just trust. I feel gratitude, and trust and gratitude are so important when it comes to eventually getting what you really want. And sometimes it's not always that thing that you think you want. So that has been a game changer for me. And hopefully we can go back to our regular scheduled program. Thank you guys. Knowing that we have the power to change our circumstance if we want to, or even just change how things appear to us. And that will help you feel better in life and when it comes to a lot of things. And just kind of seeing how to raise your vibe a little bit. And that's what I use it for. The third thing that has changed my life, the Myers-Briggs personality test. Yep, and the Enneagram Test. According to the Myers-Briggs personality test, there are 16 different types of personalities, and any free test you take off the internet, use it as a guide. Don't treat it as the Bible, but just use it as something to kind of get some information about yourself. For years, I don't want to say struggled, it's like really not that deep, but like I always kind of wondered why I did what I did, and like how I cope with things, and sometimes I just did not feel like everybody else. And I don't mean that like, I mean, you could use that as a positive or a negative. I don't know, but I just felt different, you know what I mean? And like, I didn't understand it. Sometimes you felt a little crazy because of the way you think. I think taking tests like that are really insightful. It's definitely given me a lot of insight into who I am and how I think and why I think what I think, and that I'm not crazy, okay? It's not to put yourself in a box, and it's not to label yourself and label others, right? It's just supposed to be a tool to help you understand yourself better. So for me, it's helped me feel good knowing that I'm not alone, and that why I think what I think makes sense in a lot of ways. For reference, supposedly, according to my results, I'm an INTJ, which is like introverted, intuitive thinking and judging, which judging sounds really negative, but just look it up. You'll see what that means. But I've been also, I don't know if it's how I took the test, an INTP. I don't know. I know some people get real passionate about the MBTI, and I'm like, okay, Look, I just took the test and those were my results, okay? And the Enneagram too is awesome. Enneagram does it by number. Please don't use this as a tool to judge people and like label people. Use it for yourself. And yeah, it's for fun too. Like if you think a friend would like to take it and you could talk about it and stuff, it could be a cool conversation piece. But again, don't use it as an excuse to be a jerk. Like, or to make it an excuse for all your bad habits, it just explains it better. So definitely check it out if that's something you might be interested in. The one thing, or the two things rather, that have changed my life with makeup usage is definitely Project Pan and Shop My Stash. Even if you're not into makeup, the idea is that you're using your things, concentrating the stuff you have without bringing in new things. I'm not someone who is like always buying makeup anyway. It's not like that was what I was trying to overcome or anything. That's not why I started it. I started it because I needed to understand my collection better and see what was worth keeping around, and I am trying to shrink it down. So I think doing Project Pan and Shop My Stash was kind of one way to do that without just like tossing things out willy-nilly. And it's also a way to like understand your collection and use your collection more creatively, and find different ways to like it and actually use your stuff. Because believe it or not, like, we have biases within the things we own. We don't really realize it. We tend to always reach for the same thing, the same sweater, the same eyeshadow, the same lipstick, without realizing that that's what we're doing. So I think writing all your products down, I personally found that very helpful, to write it all down and see what I used, what I haven't used. It doesn't have to be just makeup. It could be like your shoe collection, it could be your clothing, and just kind of rotating your stuff. Because I'd never done it officially before, it made a huge difference. Like, I think it definitely made me see my makeup differently, and it's made me use things that I probably would have ignored otherwise, or kept pushing to the back without realizing that's what I was doing. So it helps you make decisions. It helps you think to yourself like, okay, well, I do want to keep this around, or no, I don't. So I think doing that more so than constantly bringing new stuff in is a great way to really get control over yourself and your collection, and that deeper understanding about your stuff and why you have it, if it deserves to stick around. Even if you're not into makeup and you have too many clothes or something, maybe make a point of wearing all your clothes at least once, or trying things out, trying different combinations, and seeing if these things are things you want to keep. Because hey, your space is real important, and you don't want your space being overtaken by things you're not that crazy about, and you just are unexcited about using. So definitely make a concerted effort to try your shit out. Okay, guys? I think we're up to my fourth thing now. Some of y'all probably ahead of me with this, but I started using a planner this year. Yes, a planner, an official planner. So prior to getting this planner, I got this in September. So it's still kind of new. It's really new to my life. I was using app on my phone. There's an app called Time Tree that me and my husband use. And so we use that for like events and stuff. Also, we have, a wipe off calendar that we keep in our kitchen that we also keep dates on as well, which we use that more now than the app. And if there's things I had to do, I would just use my phone, like no big deal. And I also had a free planner that our school gives us. I'm a teacher. So it wasn't like broken down like this. It was kind of just like a calendar, literally a calendar, and you can write stuff in it. It's like about this big. Those things kind of worked for a while, but I think the difference between having those things and having like a planner like this, I know some of you already have planners, so you're like, duh, I'm like, yeah, that's what a planner is for. But this planner has helped me be more intentional with my days. Not that I wasn't intentional before. I did have to-do lists on my phone and stuff, but I think having things on my phone is a lot different than having things written out. The phone, there's lots of distractions on there. I don't know, that's how I feel. It's kind of nice to write things out and have like an analog version or like a book version, and writing with an actual pen what your intentions are for the day and actually making the time to plan it out. Like, I had no problem writing a to-do list on like a piece of paper or something, but I found that something more official, where you have the calendar for those dates, but you also have like space to just like write down what you actually want to do that day. Like, I don't know, that and again, this sounds so stupid for people who are like hardcore planners. You're like, oh yeah, but I'm here to reinforce it that these things work. And I'm not saying I'm perfect about every single day. I don't think I always like do perfectly everything on the list every day, but at least it's there, and I can, if I need to push things to the next day, that's fine. I'm very flexible with how I do things, but it's also helped me focus on that one or two things that I think would make the biggest difference to do each day. Because I don't like making 500 things to do in a day, because that's not realistic for me. It's not realistic for most people, especially if you're like full-time job, kids, like you're not going to do that. So I think maybe having a list of everything and then picking like, or highlighting the one or two things you want to get done that day, and even if it doesn't get done that day, things happen, like it's there, and you can push it to the next day. Don't keep pushing your stuff back. And if that starts happening, you might want to question if that should even be on your list in the first place. I didn't want to go balls to the wall with like a crazy expensive planner. I know there's lots of them out there, but this one seems to fit my needs for now. I just wanted to get my feet wet with it, so I went for like this really tiny one that wasn't expensive. This one was from Target. This one is called I still have the little like label on here. It's called the Day Designer, and I like that it was like black with gold polka dots on it. I thought that was like, that fits in with my style. I love that, and it's just really simple and it's easy. and I so far have enjoyed it. Mind you, I've only had it since September, but I find that it does give me a sense of peace. It gives me a sense of calm. If I feel like things are starting to get a little chaotic, I can just grab this and be like, boom, this is what I'm doing, and hopefully I get to it today. If not, it's okay, but it does give me that sense of security. So great tool. I highly recommend it. If you haven't started using a paper planner yet, give it a shot. It might be something you like. Or you could just keep doing your to-do list on your phone too, whatever works for you. The last thing that has changed my life, starting this YouTube channel. Listen, if you had asked me 2 years ago if I would have started a YouTube channel, I would have been like, hell to the no. I wasn't like about to put myself out there in any way. No, just it was not gonna happen. And you might already know this about me if you've been on my channel before. I used to have like a small blog. I mean, it had some followers. It wasn't that small, but I had a little blog and I was proud of my little blog. I had it for like 2 to 3 years, but then, you know, I had my second baby and like I wasn't really, you know, feeling passionate about writing on it anymore. And then when that ended, I started this. And I think it was the right move. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen at all. We don't know how these things are going to work out, but I'm really happy that I explored something that I was curious about. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of curiosity to see how you like something. And that's the takeaway here. I'm not saying you got to start a YouTube channel, but if there's anything in your life that you were curious about that you think might serve you in some way, go for it. I'm not saying like follow your dreams and your passions. Like, okay, I hate that kind of talk, but like, I'm not trying to look super far ahead. I'm looking at what's here in front of me. It's an area where you can grow, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure, there's ways you can grow like with numbers and with making money and all that, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something to develop, something you can kind of improve upon, any kind of hobby. It doesn't have to be YouTube, that you can kind of enjoy doing and learn about yourself through the process. For me, it was more just the being able to showing up and committing to something. And it's not something that always comes easy to me. I get scared of things. I run away from things. If things get to be too much, like I'm not saying never take a break, because I believe in breaks wholeheartedly, but if it's something you can continue doing and work at because you want to be there, if you find that thing for you, that's a blessing, and go for it. Again, I don't want these words to leave my mouth and then I don't come back for 2 months. I don't want that to happen, but I understand these things happen. But so far, I do consider this life-changing because it's just something I'm happy to show up for and meet people through. I'm just happy to be part of the community. So thank you guys. Some of these things you just are kind of random and all that, but some things money just can't buy, but you can buy this planner. Definitely hit me up. Tell me if you've tried any of these things, what has changed your life up to this point. Please leave a comment down below. Give this video a like. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.